my name's William Flack. I'm the CEO of iClean Facility Services, and currently we look after over 20 Max Catholic schools. All Catholic schools, all primary schools have 5 major pain points when it comes to cleaning, and cleaning forms a major part of their budget. In this video, I want to discuss those 5 key pain points, and more importantly, what you can do about each of them to minimize the effect on you, your staff, and your budget. Let's get straight into it. Pain point number 1, and the one that I hear the most complaints about from business managers and principals, is the quality and the consistency of the cleaning. Most cleaning contractors promise the world, and often they start off well, but then they quickly deteriorate and the quality and the service just isn't there as it was at the very beginning. So what can you do about that? Well, let me give you a couple of points that I think would really help. Number 1, have a very clear scope of works, a set of tasks that are going to get done daily, weekly, fortnightly, or monthly, and be totally clear with your contractor as to what that scope of works looks like. I have seen scopes of work when people say, well, as required. Well, as required just doesn't cut it. You've got to be very clear as to how often you want something done and then what it looks like when it's finished. You wouldn't tell your child to just tidy up his room, because his idea of tidy and your idea of tidy are 2 different things. So make sure that you and your contractor are both singing from the same page. Don't ask them to just clean the room. Make sure you're very specific about what it is you want them to do. The second point that allows you to make sure that you get consistency and the quality is maintained right through the terms is to have the contractors train their cleaners really well. And that's a really key issue. We find often that contractors just don't train their cleaners well. Then the cleaners don't understand what it is they actually need to do. And that again goes back to that scope of works. So to ensure you've got that quality and consistency of your cleaning service, make sure number 1, you've got a very clear scope of works. And number 2, you want to make sure the contractors train their cleaners well. And the third point to ensure that your cleaning service maintains quality and consistency is to ensure that your contractor conducts regular audits. It is really important, number 1, to have that scope of works, but number 2, ensure that an account manager or supervisor is doing regular audits to make sure things don't go off the rails. So there's your solution to number 1, quality and consistency, a clear scope of works, well-trained cleaners, and then regular audits to ensure that things are kept on track. Now, if you'd like a scope of works as a template, one that we use as a starting point for many schools, you can download that in the links that's in the comments just below. You can click on that and then download your own scope of works. And there's also there a link that will show you the audits that we deliver and what an audit should look like, and you can use that again for your own purposes. Let's go to pain point number 2. Number 2 is a lack of communication and responsiveness. This always is one that comes up very often. We hear a lot of principals, a lot of business managers complain that when there is a problem and they try and contact their contractor, there's no response. With iClean, we've done 2 things to ensure that that does not happen. Number 1, we have a dedicated email for anything that might be urgent or a complaint. That email goes to everybody, the senior people in the company, so that everybody's across it, and we can make sure that somebody responds, and we respond within 24 hours of that email being sent. The second point is all our account managers have a KPI of answering any complaints, any frustrations, anything that needs to be sorted within 24 hours of that complaint being made. So that is a very clear call to action, and it really does ensure that if you do have a problem, and problems happen in the cleaning industry, we're no different to anybody else. Problem is people want those complaints solved quickly. They understand that problems do occur, they just want it solved quickly. And so ask your cleaning contractor, what are they doing to ensure that complaints, problems are resolved and resolved very, very quickly. Pain point number 3 is reliability of staffing. and consistency in who is cleaning your school. This one comes up all the time, and I can understand it. In the cleaning industry, we suffer from churn and staff turnover just like everybody else. But I can understand why that will be a concern to people in a school. You don't know who's actually on the premises. You don't know who's cleaning the school. So it's really important to have a number of supervisors looking after several schools to make sure that if staff numbers are down, if someone is sick, they can't be there, that someone can take their place. The last thing you want to hear is, so-and-so isn't available, he couldn't make it last night, so we can only clean half your school. It's important that you have a seamless cleaning service. You don't want to be dealing with the issues of the cleaning company not being able to find staff. So that's pain point number 3, reliability and consistency in staff. Okay, let's go to pain point number 4, which is customization and flexibility. We found from experience that one size does not fit all when it comes to cleaning a school. Every school is slightly different. The needs and the wants of principals and staff are different across all the different schools. It's really important when we get to know you, when we sit down and we do your scope of works, that we spend time with you and understand what's important to you and your team. I believe in the Pareto principle that says 20% of things make 80% of the difference. And for every school, that 20% will be slightly different. So it's really important when you are looking at changing your cleaning contract, when you're putting that scope of works together, that you understand exactly what it is you want. What's that 20% of things that really will make 80% of the difference in your school? Because let's face it, everybody's on a very tight budget. Everybody has limited funds. It's really important to know right up front what's going to make the most difference for you. What are the non-negotiables? What really needs to be cleaned every single day, so when you come in the next day, the school looks great and it's ready to go. The last and final pain point that we come across a lot in our travels across schools is cost and transparency. Often we hear people complain that they agree to a price, they agree to a contract, and then 2 months later, 3 months later, there's a price increase that comes in. And it does get people really, really frustrated. It's really important when you sit down and you make an agreement for a cleaning contract that you are totally aware of what the cost will be for the next 12 months, which is why when we work with a school and we come up with an agreement, we lock a price in and you can guarantee that price won't vary for the first 12 months of that agreement. So that's really, really important. Make sure there's no hidden costs there. You're not going to get nasty surprises 2-3 months into the contract. And really what it all comes down to is one major word, and that's trust. I really do believe that people do business with people they like and they trust. And that means you don't have hidden fees, you don't have things coming out of left field that you don't expect. Make sure your agreement is clear, it's transparent, and that there are no hidden costs. Okay, so there you have the 5 major pain points, the 5 areas of concern that all school principals and business managers seem to experience. If you'd like to have a chat to us, the contact details are in the comments below, and there's also an email address there. We look forward to seeing you sometime in the future.